Welcome into our tiny house. We're so glad you've decided to join us. We want to give you a little bitty tour, and then we want to start to explain why we think this is luxury and some comments that we've gotten from you all over the past 6 months after we first unveiled this tiny house. Luxury and quality are definitely something that we value. We also value uniqueness and stylish ideas and features that you just don't see in normal tiny houses. So as we take a sneak peek back into the back of this tiny house, several things I want you to think about. Ground floor bedroom? Yeah. It has a ground floor bedroom. It also has tons of storage. See how light it is in there? How did we do that? And as you come down the hall, you have a sneak peek. That is a closet. That's a walk-in closet with a washer and dryer. But then you have the bathroom. This is a luxury bathroom. You got a movable tub, glass shower door, heated floor, sloped floor, zero entry, windows everywhere, granite countertops. Just a really, really nice zen kind of space. But let's go back to where we started. Yeah. You walk into this tiny house and you look immediately and it just kind of makes your eyes go right up. How did we do that? We did that through really good lines, straight lines. You can see the lines. You can see the lines in the ceiling. But we want to give you how we did this so that when you go to look at a tiny house, you're going to have that same eye that we created here so that you can get luxury and quality in the house that you want. Because we know you're watching this because you want a tiny house. So this particular picture shows the wow. That's the picture you get when you walk into this tiny house. Look at all the lines. There's a lot of lines in this picture. You have the lines across the bottom. You have the lines across the middle where the drawers are. Then you have another line where the backsplash is. You can see it right there. The lines across the top. There's actually another line above the windows. And the last line that you really don't see is the line across the top that goes to the ceiling. So when you walk into this space, immediately you see all of this perfectly lined up cabinetry and the black fronts draw your eyes in. But the one that pulls your head straight up to the ceiling is that middle row. Yes. When you look at that, I put the flowers there on purpose. The flowers make you push your eyes right to that, and then it goes right up to the ceiling. And as you go to the ceiling, then you begin to pull yourself around into the rest of the tiny house. So lines were what was used to be able to get this look, but quality has to be in place or lines don't exist. What I mean by that is when you're building this structure, you have to have the ability to frame it exactly correct. And he did that. The windows are only cased with wood. They're not trimmed. And you can see that in this picture. He did a fabulous job on this house. It is one very clean, sleek lined home. And we really wanted that look. We wanted wall space. So when you go back to this wall, you can see that big piece of black that is crossfill tile. That's one piece. And it's beautiful. You can also see the curved vent hood. He has cut that tile exactly in a curve with the glass on the top of that vent hood. Everything is exactly to the 16th of an inch in this house. The outlets are the next one. See how they're laid over? We did that on purpose. It's easier to plug things in. Plus, if you look really close, they're centered in the cabinet from above. They are also exactly centered in the backsplash, which is another piece of the crossfill tile. We don't like grout. And as you can look in this room, you can understand there's no grout lines. One big piece. This picture isn't possible unless he does every single solitary framing piece correctly. And he did. So now we have a beautiful picture that you walk into every time you come into this house. That's my focal wall when we walk in. So what else about this tiny house is cool? Let's look again. See how your eyes go right up? They go up to the ceiling, and then you see that beautiful fixture. Then you see the combed ceiling. Then you see the lights above the fireplace wall. Then you see all the light. Then you see the windows. Then you come down the wall that is black, and that is crossbuilt tile again. Those are huge panels. Those are 10-foot tall panels. And you can see they are perfectly cut along the top. There's no trim piece there. And as you come back and look at this again, you can see the outlets really well. You can also see that big piece behind the range hood. You can see the lines under the cabinet line up exactly with the pantry cabinet. All of these things are exactly perfect, which allows us to have a really cool look with lots of features and quality. So what's some other things in this house? We have butcher block countertops. We love butcher block. We've had it in numerous homes. And as you can see, we did something special in the corner here. It looks like a regular countertop, but when you look a little closer, it's actually got a line there. Yes, he actually was able to cut out the exact pattern of the butcher block. He takes his little funky little key thing. He can pick that piece up, set it to the side, and yes, that is a deep freeze. Great use of space, right? We don't like lazy Susans. That's not our thing. So we put a deep freeze in the corner. And yes, you can service it. You have to take the floating shelves out, but you can get it out of that corner. Just a really nice luxury feature that we love in this house. Makes it very functional. What else? Combed wood ceilings. All of that is alder. All of that is custom stain so that all of your trim matches, the counters, the backs of all of the cabinets match. One of the things we wanted was everything to be cohesive and it flows really well and it goes together. And we created that by the custom stain. Also has tons of light. There's 5 windows in this kitchen. The amount of natural light makes this kitchen so easy to be in. Most of the time there's never any lights on in this kitchen. It's just not needed. It lights it up so well. And it makes it really natural feeling. Sometimes when you use black, it can be hard, dark, and we don't want that. And as you see there, we have some floating shelves. Everything is in line though. All the lines match up. So let's look at this picture similar to the last one. Where are the lines at again? You notice them, I know you do. The first line that you probably see is the one that goes through the windows. That's just the floating shelves. Then you see the top of the windows. Then you may see the bottom of the windows on the top. There's one thing that's not in line, and that's the ceiling. It looks kind of funky. That's because there's a slope ceiling. When you design something, you have to have some slope. We live in Colorado. But then you see the line that goes across the middle. And it looks like the sink is like sitting in the window, maybe? Or the window is sitting on the sink. Both are true. That window sits right on the countertop. It's the countertop height. And we did that on purpose. We wanted to create depth there. We wanted it to look like when you're looking at the window, you were just gonna like go right outside. It creates this really deep space behind the sink. And I put my plants there. That's one of the best parts about this. I like the little spaces. And that's a farmhouse sink. It's not a normal farmhouse sink because most farmhouse sinks stick out into the room a couple inches. And we didn't want that with a tiny house. So he took the sink, he did some cutting on it so that it fit back perfect. And you can see what he did to the corners. to make sure that everything in here flowed really well. There was no sharp edges, and it looks like it was supposed to be this way. He's so good at making things look like that's how they were supposed to be, and in reality, it wasn't. And then as you look at this, there's 2 hidden appliances to the right on this picture. 2. Yes. We have a dishwasher. Isn't that cute? Kind of goes with the house. It's a small Z-line 18-inch dishwasher, and he did a little custom fit as well, and it makes it look like it was supposed to be there. You would never know that it was way too short to start with. And it's completely hidden. You don't see it there at all. The big tall cabinet on the corner, that is actually the refrigerator. And then we have some space above. You can see this refrigerator. It's 24 inches. It's a Samsung. It's got a freezer on the bottom. It holds so much. We are really happy with that particular part of the house. You just don't ever know after you've lived with a completely big refrigerator. Going to a smaller refrigerator, was that going to work? And it worked really, really well. You can also see the little bit of the cabinet above. We keep like extra appliances and some knickknacks in the top there. But the one thing about all of this, if this wasn't framed exactly correct, there's light switches right there. We had literally 6 inches to make that work. Here's one more shot. You can now see hidden appliances on the right. You see the beautiful window. You see the lines. You see the chandelier in the middle. You also start to see that beautiful ceiling. And that's the look. One more thing in here that he just loves. Yes, he loves soft closed doors and drawers. To the point where he will just close the doors and close the drawers. He loves that. As you can probably see, we are people that like things tidy. We wanted to make sure that that trash can was not sitting out in the middle somewhere. I hate that. So we put it underneath the sink. He had to do another little bit of custom to make that work, but as you can see, it works very, very well. There's no trash can to trip over in this beautiful little kitchen. It's hidden as well. So as you come around the corner here, you can kind of see the island, but you get to see that beautiful sunlight coming in and how open it is. That's the island. Let's talk about that island. That's a movable island. It is office. It is dining room. It is catch-all. We love to move it around, open up the doors, eat outside. We like to take it out on the deck, actually, so we have more space inside if we have company come over. It is absolutely one of the best parts of this tiny house. I can move it and change the look. So let's look at this angle. Can you see all the lines across the top? All of those windows are in line. Great framing. The doors are in line. The tops of all those cabinets are the exact same height. There is a lot of madness to this picture. That took a lot of work to make sure everything was the exact height. And then there's one more feature that we have to talk about in here. That is a microwave convection oven. Works like a charm. Wouldn't change that for anything. So as you look at this beautiful kitchen, you can see all the luxury features. We tried to think of everything. You can see the beautiful sunlight coming in through all of the windows. Windows are key in a tiny house, in my opinion. So as you look at this picture with that chandelier, that's custom. But let's go back and let's look at this house again from another point of view. You now see lines. You see all the straight lines. You see the big pieces of tile. All those lines, all those windows line up exactly. This is luxury. This is what we want you to have. We want you to have quality. If you don't have quality, luxury is really hard to do. You can see all the lines in the closet. That's a cedar lined closet. You have sheetrocked walls. Most tiny houses don't have sheetrocked walls. And as you come into this bedroom, that window is exactly centered in the bed. It's a queen-size bed with built-in nightstands. There is baseboard along every floor, every wall. There's also baseboard and trim around the top because that's a storage area. This house has tons of storage in it. It's functional. You can live in it long term. You can see the ceiling. You can see the LED lights in the ceiling, another line. You also have a beautiful patio door right here that lets in all of our wonderful Colorado sunshine, and we look at our mountains every day. And as you walk back into the living room area, you have that beautiful crossfill tile, you have a TV, you have a fireplace, all of which everything is precise. There's no extra trim in this room. Everything goes to the corners. That is quality. That's what creates luxury. That's why this house, it's a $300,000 to $350,000 house. It is not a small house. This is 456 square feet. So as you come around the corner and you understand now all of the lines in this kitchen, you understand the quality. You also want one just like this. And we can make one. We don't have to have big fancy ones. We can make smaller ones. We can make $100,000 houses, or we can make $400,000 houses. We are just going to always do it with quality because that's who we are. And we want you guys' designs and homes to last. We want you to give these to your kids. We want this to be something that you're proud of and that you can live in for years. Functional, stylish, and luxury. So if you're ready for a Hensley home, please give us a call. And if you like this, please subscribe and stay tuned because we have some really great cargo conversions coming up, as well as more tiny house videos. See you in the next one.